Lind here, the wife Meli, and it's another day in Treasure Cay in the Bahamas. Not a very nice day. It's been pouring all morning. It's overcast and a little bit windy, but my parents are actually flying in today, just staying for the weekend. And since I'm only here for a couple days, I want to make the best of the time we have. And so even though it's a little overcast and the wind's blowing a little bit, I think I'm still going to take the boat over to Marsh Harbour and pick them up from Harbour View or Snappers over there. Maybe do Elbow or something for lunch. Just something to get out and get out there. It doesn't look like it's going to rain for the rest of the day, but we'll see what happens. But real quick before we start, that is a nice thing, you know, about here, because currently all commercial flights fly into Marsh Harbour. You know, if you get an earlier flight and you want to get on with the day, it's very easy just to have them take a cab from the airport to a marina in Marsh Harbour, pick them up on a boat there, and still go do what you want to do all day. And then we'll come back here, you know, mid-afternoon, and they can get settled in and everything. So it makes it nice, you know. You still get a full day of hanging out, doing whatever over here, but let's get on with the day. All right, headed out, and something that I am extremely excited for is for my parents to see the property with the dock. They haven't seen this property since the dock construction has even started, and so there's where we are on it. I think they're gonna be very, very happy. Oof, and here is something for y'all. Because the little harbor at Treasure Cay is so well protected, on times when it's really windy like it has been the last couple of days, this place gets absolutely stacked up with sailboats. Just look at this. It's like a minefield getting out to the entrance of the harbor, and does not make it easy. We're about to leave the Treasure Cay Harbor area, and I can't say for sure, but I think we might get lucky with a pretty nice day. Yeah, I hope so. The wind's blowing about 12 knots, so not calm, but it shouldn't be too rough at all, especially not for this boat. And then we got a little bit of blue sky coming out, some overcast over there, but I believe the sky is supposed to just be clearing up as the day goes on, so I think we should get a pretty nice day, which is going to be really, really nice. Give my parents a good first afternoon here, and so it's going to be a good time. This is that alternative channel getting out of the marina that I've showed in many of my videos. The people who know kind of call it the shortcut. I've talked enough about it, but if you know what you're doing, it's a super fun run, and I highly recommend doing it. We're still in a wind-protected area from Treasure. The wind's behind us. We have a following sea, but I think we're gonna get lucky. Look at the sea out here. Woo! This is coming into the main channel in Marsh Harbour, and being that Marsh Harbour is the biggest port in the Abacos and an extremely popular commercial port, it's extremely well marked and it's plenty deep water. Just follow your GPS and you'll have no problems at all. You know, when you're going off to the area where the restaurants and bars are, when you're coming through the channel, you're kind of going to veer off to the left, and you can run up on plane pretty far into there, but on the left side of the harbor here, which I don't do a great job of showing in this video, there are some houses there that when they do have boats docked at their dock out front, be courteous and please slow down before then. Don't wake the hell out of their boats. It's not a good look for anyone, and they don't appreciate it, but extremely well marked and easy to deal with. As you can see here, the theme of there being a bunch of sailboats everywhere continues into Marsh Harbour. Whenever it gets windy, all the cruisers in the area kind of seek safe harbor, and both Treasure and Marsh Harbour do have that. And the reason there are so many here is that the Abacos is kind of the self-proclaimed sailing capital of the world, and this video was taken in April, and so we're kind of on the trailing edge of that high season where a lot of the boats are still around. We made it to Marsh Harbour and the Harbour View Marina where we're picking them up from. It's my pickup place of choice because during the day, if you have to wait or if they have to wait, you can go up to Snappa's, which is right down the way a little bit, and get a cold drink, hang out, get some food if you want. And the marina is very nice, and they're really welcome to pickups. We picked up my parents, and you'll see them in the back of the boat here. They're not a huge fan of being on camera, so they're not showing a ton in this video, but when we picked them up, they really wanted to go to Abaco Inn, just like Meli and I. That's one of their favorite restaurants in the area, and so it was a little bit cold and a little bit rough, but we made the best of it and still trotted on over to Abaco Inn. This is coming around that point in Marsh Harbour that I guess used to be called Elbow Cay, which is now being rebranded into Montage Cay. And I've talked about this place before on this channel and how they're building a resort here, but I really like the fact that they're keeping it open to the public. So the restaurants and all that, you can take your boat, you can eat there, even if you're not a member or staying there. And this is something I really want to hear from you guys in the comments about. I was talking to some people, and around the area, there's a lot of doubt that it's gonna stay open to the public like that. A lot of people were saying they're just making it that way until they get it up and running to please the government so that there's no problems there, and that once it's up and running and established, they're gonna close it down to the public, which is kind of like what Baker's Bay did. The conch shack at Baker's used to be open to the public, and then as it got more busy and popular, they made it private again. And so what are y'all's thoughts on that? Do you guys think that Montage Cay is gonna kind of go that way? We finally made it over to White Sound and the Abaco Inn, and I know I talked about earlier in the video that we were very hopeful the weather was going to clear up as the day went on, but as of now, it's just got more cloudy as the day's gone on. It's dark, it's gray, it's overcast, but we're not going to let that kill us. We're still going to have a fun time and enjoy the time with our parents because as it stands right now, Meli doesn't get to see my parents all that much, so we make the best of the time that we have together. We were a little bit early for lunch, and so we went ahead and decided to go drive through the Sea Spray Marina to go take a look at, what was going on there. And this was kind of during peak billfish season, so there was a bunch of boats in there, which the fishing this season has been absolutely red hot. Boats were catching grand slams every day. Super, super awesome to see. And me being a giant fan of custom boats, it's a passion of mine. I really enjoyed driving through here and looking at, that they had a couple Spencers, Ryboviches, and Merritt. This and that, and it's just, as a fanatic, I really enjoy just looking at these boats. It's finally an acceptable time to eat lunch, and so we headed back around that point that has all those new gorgeous little cute cottages on it and headed into Abaco Inn to grab some lunch. We made it to the dock, and this is something I've talked about before, but they really like it if you use a stern anchor to dock, which I am making a video about coming soon in the next couple weeks. But we were the only ones here this day, and with the weather, we knew we were going to be probably the only boat here, and so we just went ahead and docked side two because we knew it wouldn't be an issue. Finally made it to the restaurant. At Abaco Inn, you can choose to eat on the ocean side or the Sea of Abaco side, and I've talked about it before, but I much prefer the Sea of Abaco side. Just look at this spread, and I've said it once, I'll say it again, Abaco Inn has some of the best food in the area. And I know that I show us going to Abaco Inn quite a lot on this channel, but I don't think I've ever showed you guys the full inside of this place. And so you have this nice little quaint and cozy, kind of like living room / dining room, though there are no tables here. It's more of a gathering space. And then if you go to the back towards the ocean side, you have that beautiful dining room that's all white with the white tablecloths. And then continuing through those doors, there is a gift shop back there that I sadly didn't get a chance to film. But heading outside, you have several different eating areas like this deck overlooking the ocean, and you can also see the Sea of Abaco from this deck as well. There's a pool. There's the deck that we ate lunch at down by the Sea of Abaco, which also has the bar over there. There are just a ton of different options here. We finished eating and headed down to the boat so we can get my parents back to Treasure so they can unload and unpack all of their luggage. And sadly, the day still has not improved much.
This one?
Just push it up, both of them.
Both?
Yeah. You got it, you got it. Just a little bit, yeah. Nice. I am slowly teaching Meli how to drive boats properly and safely, and she's actually picking up on it extremely quickly, which I'm extremely proud about. But at the end of the day, it is also a safety thing. If her and I are out alone and I fall over or something, she needs to know how to get the boat to me. A beautiful little 23 Albright cruising by, and if you watch my videos, you know we have a new one that's coming soon to the channel. And finally, after hours of waiting, the break in the weather that we were waiting for finally arrived. And for the rest of the day, it just kept getting nicer and nicer as the day went on. The clouds started to dissipate, the blue skies came out, the water calmed down, there was no wind. It actually ended up turning into an absolutely stunning afternoon for us. Coming back into Treasure, it's always a pretty sight to run the Windward Beach and look at all the houses and the beautiful sandy beaches and all of that stuff. Just word of advice, when you do it, just try your best to keep a safe distance from the beach, just in case there is anyone swimming or anything like that. You really don't want to cause any danger to anyone. And of course, on the way in, we had to stop for what is the world's slowest fill-up, which is changing. When I'm doing this voiceover, they actually just changed the pump to a faster pump, but at the time of filming, the fill-ups at Treasure Cay took ages because the pumps were super slow. But this is not my boat, it's a client's boat, and I'm returning it to him later today, and so I have to leave him with a full tank because it's just the right thing to do. And we made it back to the dock so that we can drop off my parents so that they can go get unpacked while Meli and I deliver this boat back to my client's house over here, which is actually on Guana Cay. All right, so we picked up the family, the parents, my parents, spent the afternoon with them as y'all saw, did Abaco Inn, the whole 9 yards, just dropped them off, and then sadly, it's finally time to drop off the old SeaVee. Yeah. Oh, Tula, the golden retriever y'all saw in the past videos up there, but yes. Sadly, time to drop off the SeaVee, the boat that we've fallen in love with over the past, 2 weeks. Awesome, awesome boat, but it's getting put up for a good reason. Bring it back to the owner's house, gonna clean it, get it put up on his lift, the whole 9 yards. And then Meli and I, my parents are staying here, but Meli and I, we're actually headed out to Harbour Island tomorrow, which I am extremely excited about because I used to spend a ton of time on Harbour Island growing up. Meli's never been though. So I am extremely excited to show Meli Harbour Island a little bit and the pink sand beaches and the yachts and the food there and the whole 9 yards. So tomorrow y'all are gonna get a little video on how to get to Harbour Island from Treasure and that journey from here to Nassau, Nassau there, and Pineapple Air and Western Air and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, so today's actually laid out perfectly. The wind is dying down completely. The clouds completely went away. Look at this. Just an absolutely gorgeous afternoon, and so we're gonna enjoy the ride back to Guana. We'll probably show you a little bit of it, and then we'll catch up with y'all back at Guana. Ready? We're out in the Sea of Abaco now, and it has laid down beautifully. Just look at this weather. What do we think of the weather? Beautiful! Stunning, is it rough?
Look at it. No, look, it's flat.
Beautiful out. Running along the Sea of Abaco side of Guana is another run here in the Abacos that is a lot of fun and is super scenic because of the amount of rock and elevation change there is on Guana. We made it over to my client's house to put the boat back on the lift where it goes, and it actually took us a little bit of trial and error to do that. If you watch my recent videos, you know that I did recently bring this boat over to him, and so the lift bunks and the guides are not set up perfect for this boat just yet, but we did manage to get it done and also get the full boat cover on the boat, which if you guys have ever dealt with one, you know are not always the easiest things to deal with, but we got it done. I called my buddy Jake, who actually has a YouTube channel about treasure as well, Life on the Rock. I'll go ahead and link them in the description below. He's gonna come pick me up in his panga, but sitting here waiting, we got the luxury of being able to watch one of the seaplanes, the float planes that fly into Baker's Bay flyby, which I don't know about you guys, I think is super, super cool. The aviation world really doesn't throw me, so it's really cool to see these float planes come in and out of here. Jake made it over to us in his panga, and as you can see, we're in for an absolute treat of a ride with the sunset, and that's Jake right there with the long hair. He lives full-time on Treasure, and like I said, I'll link his YouTube channel in the description down below. The Mexican panga absolutely scoots, and I don't know about you guys, but I have always loved these panga boats. This one is an Eduardono, so made down in Mexico. Super cool boats, very simple, bare bones, don't really have to maintain them that much, but awesome, awesome boat. Finally, I cannot get over how lucky we were this evening. All the clouds left the sky, the wind laid down, and we just had a perfect evening for our last night in Treasure for a couple weeks. But that's it for this video. Please subscribe, like the channel if you like this kind of content, and I'll see you in the next video.